I know. Only it's supposed to happen when you're a teenager. When you're 31,
It
here I
gets put
am.
off when you're gay.
I know. Here I am, this professional trying to lead my life, and I'm having all these teenage girl symptoms and feelings going on. I mean, it was really bizarre. So yeah, that awakened all sorts of new things, and it made me really start questioning again what I had been taught. You know, that homosexuality was the path to pain, evil, and that there was nothing down that path but misery. And that's not at all what I found. I found that there was real human connection. There was life, there was living, there was beauty, there was just everything that I thought I would never have in my life. So I experienced that, and I thought, you know what, maybe I need to question some other things. So I started talking to some other friends who had left the church, and I decided it was time. I really was very methodical about it, and I went back to Utah and called a family meeting and called all of the adults in the family together and told them I was leaving the church and that I was going to step out as a gay man. And it was really an amazingly beautiful family meeting. People cried. Some of them said, you know, we're sorry that you're doing this. We don't agree with it, but we've watched you for 10 years. We've watched how much you've tried to make this work and it's not working. And my mom said, I figured you were either going to be dead or that this was going to be the decision you'd make. And so kind of with a lot of my family's blessing, I came back to New York and packed up the garments, and that was that. I mean, that was a mental step for me. I didn't start dating for maybe even another year, but I had to let go of what was holding me, what was preventing me from actually living.
What happened when you did?
I walked on air. It was pretty amazing. I was in therapy as part of my program at NYU, and I just started looking at who I was and seeing that all I had been looking at before was this blemish. It's like when you wear a white shirt and you have a little splotch of something, you think everyone's just looking at that splotch, and I felt like everyone had just been looking at me as this evil, disgusting little closet gay, whatever I was. But to actually say, wait a second, that's one little portion of who I am. It's a beautiful portion of who I am, and there's so much more that I can accept. I can stop fixating on that little piece. And I felt this amazing peace with the universe and with people that I encountered. I was so less judgmental with other people as I met them and as I saw them, whether they were gay or for any other reason. It was just really liberating. And I don't think, I'm trying to think if I had any moments of even regret or loss, and I don't think I did. I think that...
Why do you think that is?
I think part of it's because I thought it through, and because it wasn't, for me, just a knee-jerk reaction. It was something that was kind of 10 years in the making, and I tried everything else for me. But I also think that because it was such a right decision, it was like that first kiss. It was like that first relationship, in that I felt alive. I felt like I was really, really existing. And there was something amazingly spiritual about it, something more profound than I had ever felt the Holy Ghost before in my life. There was something just vibrant about it. And there was no denying that. That was truth for me. It was truth.
It's like you were living in this dark place for so long, and then
Completely.
Here comes the light.
Because I thought I was avoiding the dark place, you know? But really, that was so miserable. There were so many nights that I would just scream at God, that I would cry myself to sleep, that I would just gnash my teeth. I mean, you describe hell. You look at any Book of Mormon or Bible description of hell, and I had been living that for years and years and years.
As a celibate.
As a celibate, worthy, temple-worthy member of the Mormon Church, yeah. And it wasn't until I let go that I actually found what we're promised.
I mean, because you said your mom said something about she figured you would be dead or you would leave the church.
I went home to see my parents, and I was really struggling really bad. And I remember I was downstairs in the laundry room, and my mom came down, and she said, "How's it going?" And I just broke down sobbing hysterically, and I just kept saying, "It's so hard, it's so hard." And she was crying, and she just said, "Hang in there, I love you, you're gonna make it, hang in there." And I remember that as really the lowest point that anyone in my family ever saw me at. And there was real fear in my mom's eyes at that time. I think she had no idea how to reconcile it or what to do about it or how to help me. Because, I mean, there isn't any way to do any of those things in the moment.
What would you say to somebody who is like in that position, in the position where, you know, they're in their dark period
Yeah.
right now, and they're getting online and they're like trying to find some kind of outreach or advice?
It's so hard. I mean, I think the first thing I would say is, I know where you are. I know that place. You think no one has ever dug that deep down, but there's a lot of us out here actually, and it's a known place. It's a known place, and I think that's one thing that would have helped me at the time, is to know that this wasn't some journey I was forging on my own. And then I would also just say, you can white knuckle it for a long time. That's what we do. We can hang in there. We can just dig our heels in and pray and pray and pray and live in that pain and live in that pain. But I would say, just give yourself one moment where you let go. Even just for a moment where you release your expectations on yourself. You release that hate. And just to feel what it might be like if it was okay to be who you are. Just experiment. Feel what that's like. And and like the Book of Mormon says, if the Spirit tells you anything, if you feel anything in that moment, and if somewhere something bears a witness of truth to that moment, to that idea that it's okay to be who you are. I don't think...
Changed my life.
Completely. Completely. I mean, I would never say to anyone, you've got to let go, you've got to run away from the church, you've got to, let that go. People are where they are. But I would say open yourself up to the possibility of doing that. Part of the whole test, part of Moroni's whole test is to see if the things are true. God says, put out the options. And being gay is an option. Test it, Be willing to see whether or not that's actually a possibility. Because I never did. I never even wanted to go there. I never wanted to let that be an option. But just to be okay with who you are. And then all the other amazing things that come with it. To be in a relationship, to be loved, to have companionship and joy. That's living.